welcome back to the JPG channel. No universe mode for this episode as announced after Friday Night Smackdown. The WWE draft is directly before Backlash, so that's what we're at right now. We are doing the WWE draft. We're doing a pretty basic formula when it comes to the WWE draft. We're just doing it here on the WWE 2K24, where I can edit universe mode and all that jazz. As far as how I determine the fate of these superstars, I'm actually using AI generators to do so. You're not going to see that on your end, but on my end, I have a wheel in front of me that's going to determine whether the superstars going to Raw or SmackDown. Kind of a disclaimer: some of the superstars will not be drafted. It's based on kind of two things, who I want in my universe mode as far as like me personally, and what if I have plans for them down the line, or basically it's just a personal choice. But as always, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always open to ideas, basically. Like if there's a certain person that goes undrafted in this video and you want to see them in a future episode, shoot a comment on one of my videos and I'll find a way to make it happen, that's for sure. But anyways, I'm not going to ramble too long. And again, I apologize for how basic this is. I know a lot of creators have way more creative versions of a WWE draft in their universe mode. I mean, I've seen a few in the last few weeks that almost mimic what they do in real life. I mean, those guys are incredibly talented when it comes to that. But me, unfortunately, I've only been a year in YouTube, and I'm not the greatest when it comes to editing videos. As a matter of fact, I do little to no editing on my videos, except for editing the thumbnail and the description of the video. That's really all it comes from me. Hopefully I can change that in the future and learn some different things down the line, but as of right now, we're kind of just doing the most basic formula possible. Now, moving forward, the way WWE 2K24 works is you cannot create a show unless you have at least 10 participants. Now, you see 12 on Raw and 13 on SmackDown. That's because some of these people that I auto-generated from that generator that I was telling you about, they're in tag teams, and I want to keep them together. So if you see anybody, when I get ready to do this draft right now, if you see anybody on like Raw or SmackDown already, that's because, one, they have already been previously drafted, because I cannot create the show unless they're drafted. This is a blank slate universe mode, by the way. I literally just created this not even 5 minutes ago. That's why you see like Roman on SmackDown. Like, this wasn't even the SmackDown that we just put up. Anyways, again, rambling, because this isn't a formulated universe mode video where I just head straight into action. I know this is probably the most low monotone that you'll ever hear me as far as my voice. I'm usually screaming at my television screen. But we are going to start the draft right now, folks. And what do you know? The very first person on the board, we're just going to go in order to make this easy, is indeed the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, this man right here has the United States Championship match against the cleaner Kenny Omega coming up in Puerto Rico at Backlash. So he can either stay on Raw, where that United States Championship is so far, or he can be drafted to SmackDown. So can Kenny. He can be drafted to SmackDown as well. So, this all determines really where that United States Championship is placed after the draft, if AJ does defeat Kenny Omega. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to spin this wheel, and we're going to see what AJ's fate is. So he has landed on Raw. AJ Styles is staying on Monday Night Raw, folks. We're actually going to copy that to our second slot. Our first slot is just something I do on my free time. That's nothing. We're going to move on to Tozawa. We're going to keep undrafted for now. I'm sorry for you Tozawa fans. Believe me, if you have an idea for him, if you want to see him in universe mode, or any of these people that go undrafted, just let me know. I'll make it happen. But Tozawa, we're going to keep undrafted for a little while. Alba Fire is up next. Haven't seen too much of Alba Fire in Universe mode. I want to say I had her in NXT for a little bit at the start there. We're going to see where she lands right about now. She is actually going to Monday Night Raw as well, which means when I come down to Isla Dawn, I actually want to keep them together because I'm trying, the story here is that I'm trying to build up the women's tag team division and get those tag team belts back in Universe mode. So her and Isla Dawn are heading to Monday Night Raw. Next is Alexa Bliss, and we have not seen Bliss in quite some time. And we're going to see where she lands right now, folks. We haven't seen Bliss since since she faced Rhea Ripley back at Extreme Rules. That was during the time of Bray Wyatt's passing. We had a pretty good story with Wyatt and Bliss planned, but unfortunately all that kind of came crumbling down after, I basically decided not to use the Bray Wyatt character in Universe mode anymore, just as a respect thing to not only him, his family, anybody that, feels like I'd be kind of like, using his name as, I don't know, like clickbait or whatever. I'd never do anything like that to begin with. But yeah, I mean, we decided to keep Bray Wyatt out of Universe mode, unfortunately, and that's something I'm going to stick to. A lot of people I've seen, using Bray Wyatt in their Universe mode. That's cool. You can do as you please. Me, I choose not to have Bray Wyatt in Universe mode. Anyways, I'm just talking about Wyatt because he's tied to Bliss, obviously. But Alexa Bliss getting drafted to Monday Night Raw. Next is Andrade. Now, we've seen Andrade return recently on Friday Night SmackDown. We're going to see where he lands right now, though. And as a matter of fact, we are not going to see him on SmackDown for very much longer because he is going to Monday Night Raw. Very Raw-heavy draft so far. I'm also forgetting to copy this to the actual Universe mode, so that's nice. Andre Chase is one of those people that already got auto-generated. It was actually Duke Hudson that got auto-generated, but I want to keep him and Duke Hudson together on Friday Night SmackDown. I think I forgot to add Thea Hale on SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to add her to SmackDown as well. But yeah, that's a new team on Friday nights. Chase U heading to Friday Night SmackDown, so there's a big announcement. Angel Garza is up next. Oh wait, actually, I could have sworn Humberto went. Yeah, actually, no, he went to SmackDown. So we're going to actually keep Angel on Friday nights because, like I said, some of these teams are staying together. And I meant to actually put Angel on SmackDown when Humberto was one of those auto-generated to SmackDown, by the way. All right, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, as a unit. So we're going to see where they land. Former WWE Tag Team Champions are staying on SmackDown. Look at that. When we get to Montez Ford, he will be staying on SmackDown with Dawkins. Apollo Crews, former North American champion, very dominant in NXT last year. Let's see where he lands. We haven't seen him in WWE 2K24 yet, but believe me, I wasn't going to leave him out. He is going to Friday Night SmackDown. Apollo Crews coming to the blue brand. And let me try to remember to save this because I'm not trying to do this all over again. That's for sure. Ashante the Adonis. He's gonna be on his own for a little while. Obviously, Top Dollar's not on this game. Still have B-Fab in the game though. But you know what? We'll see where Ashante gets drafted to. I have some plans for him in the future. Who knows? He's actually going to Monday Night Raw. Ashante the Adonis drafted to Monday Night Raw. All right, up next, Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Where is Asuka landing? I think she was a Raw superstar, and she actually will be staying on Monday Night Raw. She is drafted to Monday Night Raw. I feel like this auto-generator has like a bit of a pattern here, where it goes Raw, SmackDown, Raw. Austin Theory actually was drafted to Raw. Well, wait, actually, maybe I don't think he was supposed to be drafted to Raw because him and Grayson Waller are indeed the champs over on SmackDown. So something went wrong there. We're actually going to keep those guys on SmackDown because remember what I just said. The tag team champions are staying on their shows because the belts correspond to said show, being that, you know, the WWE Tag Team Championships are blue and the World Tag Team Championships are red. Whoops. So Theory and Waller staying on SmackDown. All good. All right, next is Axiom, another superstar from NXT. Obviously, if you guys are kind of wondering why we're drafting all these NXT superstars, NXT is no longer a thing in Universe Mode. Not really anything like personal, like as to the reason why I did that, but it's just a time management thing. Like I can get so many more videos out doing 2 shows every 3 or 4 weeks and then a pay-per-view rather than doing NXT, a small, a mini pay-per-view in between a big show and then, so forth. So that's why NXT is no longer a thing. That and the videos weren't doing incredibly well on YouTube as a matter of fact. So I'd rather just kind of blend a little bit of NXT in with the main roster, in my own opinion. Bad Bunny, we don't use on Universe Mode. I'm sorry for you Bad Bunny fans, but I mean, he's a cool character to play with, but we just don't use him on Universe Mode. Baron Corbin was drafted to Friday Night SmackDown through the auto generator, one of the 10 people to get drafted, so he's staying on, or actually he's going to SmackDown. Haven't used Baron Corbin in Universe Mode, I want to say all year, so it's nice to see Baron Corbin back. We're about to see where the former leader of Damage Control lands, that being Bayley. Bayley is indeed going to Friday Night SmackDown. I believe she was Raw before that. Pretty sure she was She was actually on the latest episode of Friday Night SmackDown. She took on Jade Cargill in a losing effort. Becky Lynch, she should, the tag team champions make sense because their colors correspond. But, I think we want to see where Becky lands. Let's see, because if Becky gets drafted to SmackDown, I can't keep both her and Sasha Banks on SmackDown. So, do I want to switch it, is my real question. You know what? Let's see where Becky lands. Becky actually landed on Raw, so she's staying on Raw anyways. Let's hope Sasha lands on SmackDown, because I don't know what I'm going to do creatively if she doesn't. I mean, obviously I have the power to just keep her on SmackDown now that Becky Lynch has been drafted to Raw. But, yeah, same old with the man Becky Lynch. She stays on Monday nights. Bianca Belair is the next one in the draft. The EST has been on Friday Night SmackDown for quite some time, and she will be staying on the blue brand. Bianca Belair has been drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, Bianca Belair having a story with Saraya and her sorority leading into the War Games last year. Basically just couldn't always playing the bridesmaid in Universe Mode last year, that being also at WrestleMania when she could not defeat Sasha Banks in their WrestleMania rematch. Big E, I think we're going to keep. I had him in a few videos last year, but I think we're going to keep him away from Universe Mode for now. Some of these are just like extra attires that I haven't been able to tie to them together. Anyways, Blair Davenport down from NXT, former NXT Women's Champion in this Universe Mode. Let's see where she lands. Blair Davenport is indeed heading to Friday Night SmackDown. I'm going to be able to mix it up with Belair and who else got drafted to SmackDown? I want to say there was another one. And next is the almighty Bobby Lashley, a.k.a. the man that is taking on Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash, which is currently a SmackDown title. He was auto-generated to Monday Night Raw. Yes, indeed. Bobby Lashley was drafted to Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, that can only mean one thing. If Bobby Lashley is to defeat Gunther, he will take the World Heavyweight Championship to Monday Night Raw. That's big breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that could shift the entire landscape of Universe Mode in general, with the World Heavyweight Championship moving to Monday Night Raw. The monster of all monsters is making his return pretty soon here, and he needs a show to land on to make a big impact, and he is heading to Friday nights. Braun Strowman heading to Friday Night Smackdown. This is the most talking I've probably ever had to do in just a regular, no excitement whatsoever kind of voice. So you have to bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we said Bray Wyatt. I choose not to use him in Universe Mode. Braun Breaker is our next pick. Now, this might be a steal for whoever grabs him up, and he is heading to Monday nights. Braun Breaker, obviously, former 3-time NXT champion in Universe Mode. This guy, I mean, he ate, he slept, and he breathed NXT for the better part of 3.5 years. Braun Breaker heading to Monday Night Raw. That's a big pickup. Another big pickup will be the colossal Bronson Reed, who is moving to Friday nights. He is actually on Monday Night Raw and making a big name for himself on Monday Night Raw. But he is going to Friday Night SmackDown, as a matter of fact. So Bronson Reed moving over in the draft. This video is already way too long. Let's see where Jensen lands. Him and Josh Briggs. Looks like Friday Night SmackDown. So Brooks and Jensen are moving to Friday Night SmackDown. I don't think I ever used them in NXT either, but they're a brand new team on Friday nights as well. Let's move forward, try and get this done quickest way possible. The Creed brothers are landing on Friday Night SmackDown as well. Very tag team heavy over on Friday nights. Brutus Creed and Julius Creed moving over to Friday Night SmackDown. Bryan Danielson, he's actually the World Tag Team Champions with Moxley, so obviously him and Mox are staying on Monday Night Raw. And again, I'm only doing the Tag Team Championships because, the color corresponds. And if the old Universal Championship, the red strapped Universal Championship, was on Monday Night Raw right now, then I would say Randy is not eligible for the draft. But him and Gunther indeed are eligible for the draft. Now, Butch, we have a different version of, which is Pete Dunne later down the line. So do not worry for you Pete Dunne fans. We will be drafting Pete Dunne, that's for sure. Moving forward, Cameron Grimes, I think we're going to keep as a free agent. Candice LeRae is up next in the draft. Let's see where she lands. Candice LeRae is moving to Monday Night Raw. Actually moving, she's been on Monday Night Raw, excuse me. She's been on Monday Night Raw. As a matter of fact, she's had some impressive showings against Io Sky, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. So she's been doing her thing on Monday Night Raw as of late. Just needs that big win to really solidify herself on Monday nights. Carmella was one of those people that was auto-generated out of the 10. So Carmella making her return on Friday Night SmackDown. That should be exciting. Up next, the generational talent, self-proclaimed him, Carmelo Hayes, a man that took Bryan Danielson to the absolute limit, is going to Friday Night SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. Carmelo Hayes heading to Friday nights. It is Friday Night Mello. We thought it was going to be Monday Night Mello. Him and Trick have been doing their thing on Raw since the Raw after WrestleMania. Notice I had not drafted Trick Williams with him. Him and Trick have the possibility to be split in this draft. That is one team that has the possibility to be split. Cedric Alexander is up next in our draft. A big fan of Cedric, so we're keeping him in universe mode. He is headed to Monday Night Raw. Cedric Alexander going to Monday nights. We had Cedric in NXT for a little while. As a matter of fact, he mixed it up with Carmelo Hayes a few times and Trick Williams. Next, I need you off to Shoosh because Chad Gable needs to find out where he's landing. Chad Gable is moving to Monday nights, it looks like. He was a part of the Smackdown roster with Otis, another team that is eligible for a split in this draft. We'll see where Otis lands, but Chad Gable might be playing solos for a little while. Stax Lorenzo, him and Tony D I want to keep together, so let's see where they're landing. Monday Night Raw, him and Tony D going to Monday nights. It's a big pick for Monday Night Raw. The family doing big things in NXT as of late in real life. I never got to debut Stax. I debuted Tony D'Angelo a few times, but never had no story from NXT. He kind of, he kind of got lost in the shuffle there for a little while. But Tony D's looking to make a name for himself alongside his right-hand man, Channing Stax Lorenzo, the underboss. But Charlotte Flair is next in the draft. She is staying on Friday Night SmackDown, as a matter of fact. Charlotte Flair staying on Friday Night SmackDown. And the next person is Chelsea Green. She is actually going to SmackDown as well. And her and Piper Niven are eligible for a split. That is correct. We'll see where Piper Niven lands. Chelsea Green could be on her own for the foreseeable future. Coming up next, Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club moving to SmackDown. Oh my goodness. Now look, I said Moxley and Danielson are staying on Raw because they have the Raw straps. They have the red and gold tag team titles. But Claudio Castagnoli is just a third member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and now it looks like he's going to have to branch out on his own and make his own name on Friday Night SmackDown. Now, CM Punk. This is a big one. Got the DLC coming out, next week? CM Punk's going to be a big feature in Universe Mode, folks. Just look out. Let's see where he lands. Oh my goodness. The Second City SmackDown Saint. CM Punk is going to Friday nights. Last time we saw Punk, he was a losing effort to Kenny Omega at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. Truly a dream match you will only see in a created universe mode because of the two's differential opinions on one another in real life. The American Nightmare. Oh man, this one's going to be personal. Cody Rhodes is going back to Monday Night Raw. He just got away from Monday Night Raw. He just got away from Karrion Kross, Randy Orton, you name it. He just got away from all of them not even 6-7 months ago. And now Cody's back on Monday nights. I don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say. Cody Rhodes going to Monday Night Raw. Now remember, Roxanne Perez got drafted earlier. Let's see if Cora Jade lands with her. I believe Roxanne went to... Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, no. Roxanne Perez was one of the draft generators, I believe, and she landed on SmackDown. Cora Jade has landed on Raw. Team 2001, no more? That's not gonna do good right there. Cora Jade going to Monday nights. Roxanne Perez solo dolo on Friday nights. Cruz del Toro, a part of the LWO. Let's see where him and Joaquin Wilde land. I don't know if I want to keep Ray with them just yet, but Monday Night Raw is where the LWO are getting drafted to. Dakota Kai is up next in our draft, folks. And she is landing on Monday Night Raw. You know, I've been kind of having all members of Damage Control do their own thing, so I'm not going to draft EO with her. Asuka obviously was staying on Raw as well, although in my universe mode, Asuka's not a part of Damage Control, so I mean, that's neither here nor there. Let's see where Damian Priest lands. Now, I don't know why he has Money in the Bank briefcase, because this is auto. You know, this is a blank slate universe mode. I must have forgotten to, but believe me, Damian Priest in this universe mode has not won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Money in the Bank is like 3 months away. We're, you know, don't worry. We got plans for Money in the Bank. Don't you worry about that. Let's see where Priest is landing. Damian Priest is heading to Friday nights. Priest is heading to Friday night Smackdown. Big pickup for Friday nights. Damon Kemp. You know, I kind of want to see what you can do. Let's see where he lands. Damon Kemp has landed on Monday Night Raw. We'll see if we can do something with Damon Kemp. Obviously, the more talented of the two brothers, that being him and Gable Steveson. What a flop for WWE that was. But anyways, moving forward, Dexter Lumis was one that was a auto drafted already, so that's interesting. We haven't been able to use a lot of Dexter Lumis in universe mode. Big name here, Dijak is up next. He is staying on Monday Night Raw. Remember, he lost to Ilya Dragunov, I want to say at TakeOver London, loser leaves town match, which was an incredible match. I think it was one of my oldest, most viewed videos at that point. If you can try and go find it and watch it. That was an incredible match between Dijak and Ilya Dragunov. Long story short, Dijak had to leave NXT, and he found a new home on Monday Night Raw. And it looks like he is staying home on Monday Night Raw. Let's see where Dirty Dominic Mysterio lands. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the Judgment Day are eligible for a split, but Dirty Dom is heading to Friday nights with Damian Priest. So far, 2 out of 4 members of Judgment Day landing on Friday night SmackDown. Man, these videos are getting long. I might want to cut. Let's do about 2 more. And I think we're going to cut this and make it part 2, because this is already like 27 minutes long. This is absolutely insane. Drew McIntyre is indeed landing on Monday Night Raw. He's actually been a member of Monday Night Raw for quite some time now, but he's staying there right on Monday Night Raw is Drew McIntyre. Let's do one more, and I think we're going to do a part 2. Duke Hudson was obviously drafted with Andre Chase. Who would be next? Elton Prince, I believe him and Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson was the auto-generated to Raw, so a new team on Monday Night Raw, Pretty Deadly, over from NXT. Eric and Ivar, where are we landing? Where is the Viking Raiders landing in universe mode this year? They are landing on SmackDown. I believe they were members of Friday Night SmackDown already. They're staying on SmackDown, but got a few new teams to mix it up with in there. That being said, we're about 28 minutes into this video, which is insane, by the way, for just a draft video. I'm going to cut it here. We're going to do a part 2 directly after this, just so that these videos aren't too long. Y'all will probably skip through both videos anyways, because who the hell wants to sit through me talking about who's getting drafted anyways. But I'm going to cut it here, folks, and then we're going to be right back with part 2.